It's almost a working lightsaber, and now I don't see any... Oh, hey, welcome everybody to another episode of Fantasy News. I am your disheveled goblin host, Daniel Greene, and today we have quite the titanic collection of tales to talk about. So let's go ahead and get into the first one here. And first up, we have the fact that it seems Amazon is beginning to roll out its mainstream Wheel of Time marketing. Yes, up until this point, we've had a Wheel of Time Twitter account interacting with the fans and releasing sneak previews, but it's felt fairly contained. Now, with a user on Twitter posting a photo of a bookmark they received from Amazon that's going to be distributed wide and big, it now seems that Amazon itself is going to try and be pushing the Wheel of Time name into the mainstream. We knew as fans this was coming, but the storm is now on the horizon. I'm happy about this. I don't know. I'm percolating. Let me percolate. And just as I'm starting to edit today, we are also getting the first look at the upcoming Lord of the Rings show and a release date of September 2nd, 2022. A new journey begins, and this still, ooh, looking pretty good. I am not, tamper the expectations, but that's looking like the most expensive show ever made. It's 1 a.m. and I just had the two trees in that image pointed out to me in the background. For those who know, you know. You know. All right, though, I know what you actually are here for, and that is for cover and title and book reveals. So let's go ahead and start with one from Tor, where we had the cover revealed for Pennyblade by J.L. Ward, and I like this gothic aesthetic. Ooh, it looks good. It's kind of a minimal approach while also leaning away from the just white backdrops we've been seeing quite often. This has me sold. There's also an excerpt I liked as well, and if you'd like to check that out, links for this and of course everything I talk about here today and the links down below. That's right, those timestamps don't just let you skip over my face when I'm saying things you don't like. They also give you sources. And very excitingly, we had it announced that there is actually going to be another Lock and Tomb book released by Temsin Muir. That's right, we are now going to get Nona the Ninth released fall of 2022. Originally, Lock and Tomb was planned to be a trilogy, but following in the grand tradition of sci-fi and fantasy, it seems Temsin Muir is expanding it out to a quadrilogy. I have no problem with this whatsoever. I think she has proved to be someone with a strong vision and a capable hand with a pen, so yeah, no, bloat it out, go ham. I'm someone who enjoys very long fantasy series. I know some are like, oh, anything bigger than a trilogy I won't read. You are weak. You are weak and you should read more. But taking the cake in terms of just creative imagery for a cover, we also had a release from Harper Voyager for Daughter of the Moon Goddess, written by Su Lin Tan, and that is stunning. This just looks like a piece of art I would buy and put on a wall. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it here. Because of the just awesome length you can go to within sci-fi fantasy book covers and art in general, in my extraordinarily biased opinion, we often see many of the greatest pieces of art of current arting released for book covers like this. Like, it just blows me away. And if you want to see a further case in point here, we have another cover coming out from Rob J. Hayes for Spirit of Vengeance, another entry in the Mortal Technique series, and it looks like this. Rob! Oh my god! It looks so good! I've liked seeing the Mortal Technique series slowly grow and grow. I have really enjoyed both books I've read within it. In this latest cover, oh, let me know in the comments down below which of those covers was your favorite. We're about to get into some very exciting adaptation news, but first a quick word from today's sponsor. Oh my god, do you want to write better books? You have one option, one thing you can do right now, and that's check out Campfire. Use the link in the description down below. Campfire is going to be your option to get you into all these things that are so powerful. You can build your world, plan things better. Oh my god, it's just a great way to do. Why won't my cat look me in the eyes anymore? So, okay, look, Campfire, you get to choose your own price, basically, to pay for what you're going to use, and if you don't like it, you cancel. Or you can pay it all up front at one time, and just be like, I'm just going to use this forever. That's the beauty of Campfire. It's progressive. It's so far ahead in the future. So if you're interested in checking out Campfire today, all you have to do is use the link in the description, and then you'll have enough mental space to actually write the series you want to write, and you won't be taken up by the monotony of trying to keep an entire world straight, whether it's a D&D camper writing a book. So just check out the link in the description, okay? Okay. So if you saw my Green Knight review, you know I am a pretty large fan of A24. They've had some stinkers in their past, yes, but overall they are one of the studios that is making the most creative and thematically brilliant films, in my opinion, in this era of cinema. And it's just been announced they have acquired the rights to Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. This is a match made in heaven. In my humble little opinion, Octavia Butler's works not being adapted at all up until this point has been a travesty, so seeing her not only get an adaptation, but from a studio that put out Moonlight, Lady Bird, Hereditary, Lighthouse, The Green Knight! It's just... yes, I'm so happy about this, and I really want to see this adaptation, but it's not even the last bit of Octavia Butler news we're getting. I don't know what this voice is I'm starting to doing. I don't know. I've never done this voice before.
Stop doing what you're doing.
Because HBO has also ordered a script for Octavia Butler's Fledgling series, with Isaiah Ray and J.J. Abrams attached. This, I like HBO, J.J. Abrams I have mixed feelings on, so I'm going to be focusing on the Parable of the Sower because it's actually the one I've read. I haven't unfortunately read Fledgling yet, but just seeing Octavia Butler, one of the greatest voices sci-fi ever had, getting the respect she deserves, makes me a happy boy. Now, in the last episode of Fantasy News, I specifically touched on and even brought in Quinn from Quinn's Ideas, who's a massive Dune fan, to discuss the wave of additional Dune media we're likely about to receive due to the fact that the movie is going to come out soon. And it's already here. It seems that Dune Comics is going to release Dune, a Whisper of Caladan Seas. I want to make clear this is an adaptation into a comic of a short story that was already released. So if you're a Dune fan, you've probably already heard the story. It's just a comic adaptation of that story. The way I originally phrased it did not make that clear, sorry. Quinn, as a bigger Dune fan than myself, said he's actually okay with the continuation of the comics, though the books are more hit or miss. So I'll go with his word and say yay boom, and yay for the Dune fans. But let me know, what has been your favorite piece of Dune media outside of the first book if you're a Dune fan? I'm curious to see if there's any kind of consensus. It can be anything in that universe that's just not the first Dune book. All right, I'll talk about it. There is a series of lawsuits seemingly either on the horizon or already being filed against Disney by many of the actors they've previously worked with, including, most notably and most attention-grabbing so far, it seems, Scarlett Johansson for Black Widow. Although don't dismiss the fact that there are headlines circulating that Emma Stone is apparently considering a lawsuit as well. What this is specifically about is how they assigned contracts and agreements with these actors and actresses to pay them a percentage of ticket sales. But with them doing then hybrid releases on streaming services and in theaters for these movies, those actors got a significantly smaller chunk of the pay they thought they would get. To no one's surprise, I assume, and I'll admit I'm biased here, I'm obviously not on Disney's side. I think they are a company with extraordinarily skeevy practices, and this just falls in line with their handling of the whole Disney must pay hashtag, where they're still, up to now, not paying many of the authors they had agreements to pay with. As I predicted early on in that controversy, they seem to have paid off the high-profile ones, and then just hoped it would go away. And then falling in line with that plan, I even recently tweeted about it, and some people were responding like, I thought I heard they paid. No, they just paid the notable names and are hoping you'll forget the rest. And this doesn't even talk about their skeevy practices with copyright or taking stories from Marvel and not crediting the people who originally came up with those ideas. And all of this, I guess I'll throw an allegedly on or something, whatever I need to do to cover my butt. But okay, let me just make this absolutely clear here. I'm going to avoid, in general, reviewing Disney media in the future. It makes me feel dirty. I think they are a scumbag company that does not appreciate the creatives who give them the actual media they then profit from. I do not judge anyone else who does work with Disney, who's a content creator, actor, what have you. I get it, the hustle's the hustle. Personally though, it's not on the table for me anymore. I always get the really dumb comment when I talk about this stuff like, guess Disney's never gonna work with Daniel. One, duh. And two, I wouldn't want to work with Disney. I have standards and they suck ass. Sorry for getting so negative. That was a lot. That was a good hefty lump of But we're gonna move on and get a little bit more happy here, and that's gonna be that Jack D. Cena has actually come out and said he wants to voice Batman. You may know him from his work within Avatar: The Last Airbender, and apparently it's like his bucket list voice performance role to take on the Dark Knight. And this is not gonna be live action, this is specifically him saying he wants to voice the character. And I could see his voice especially lining up with like a younger, early years Batman getting going, though with us apparently getting that with the new next Batman movie coming out with Robert Pattinson. I had a second to think about it there. I'm not sure if that's really in the cards at this moment. The voice of Batman in video games and anime is a rather large shoes to fill. If you know, you know. And in rather interesting news for One Piece fans, Kumamoto Prefecture unveils One Piece bronze Nami statue as part of revitalization project. And I immediately saw some people kind of scoffing at this, but this is actually an effort to bring people and interest back into the area after an earthquake ravaged it. And there are actually already other One Piece statues in the area. And it's a bronze statue of Nami. I mean, as a One Piece fan, I think it's kind of cool, but I don't really know what to think about this because I also don't know the larger history of what happened here and how difficult it's been to recover. I know after natural disasters, it can be a tremendous undertaking. It does, though, speak to me as a One Piece fan to just once again reinforce how much larger the fandom is for One Piece than I originally thought. It is a true statement to say that Nami, Zoro, Luffy, Robin are some of the best-selling characters in the history of fiction. Their importance right now really can't be overstated. We also have the fantastic news that Adrian Tchaikovsky, the author of Children of Time, is going to be writing for the Black Library. That's right, Warhammer 40k is having one of the best current working sci-fi authors write his first long-form material for that universe. Note, I say long-form because he has written a short for Warhammer before in the collection Inferno. And in maybe they were cheating news, not really, it's a joke, but we had an Olympic athlete wearing a Witcher medallion during their event and they took home the gold. And I'm sorry, if you're a Witcher, that's like magic steroids. I'm just saying, I'm kidding. Congratulations, that was really cool. And as a Witcher fan, I saw that and went, yay! I'll toss you a coin any day, but you already got a gold coin. That's pretty big, so you should be good. And I imagine a lot of people are gonna be buying you drinks for free. But this has been your latest episode of Fantasy News. Like and subscribe if you have not already, and hit the Patreon if you like to support what I do here. If you want to contribute news stories you'd like to see covered, join the Discord server and go ahead and throw them in the Fantasy News channel. I love y'all. Thank you again for just making this my job. I just wanted to end saying that because, I don't know, I've been feeling very grateful for the audience recently. So have a good one, y'all. Peace. And of course, I'd like to record a special shout out to my latest high tier Patreons, Michael and Daystain.